Hello, welcome to Joy News Interactive with me, Benis Abubedu. Politics and health. Do you care to know the health status of political aspirants? Well, we'll be talking about that. And Minister of Youth and Sports, Neelante van der Poy, has backed government's decision not to grant the Black Stars players tickets to fly for the 2017 Nations Cup qualifier against Rwanda. Now, there's a lot of talk about that on social media and on our airwaves. I'll be giving you details on this and pick your thoughts as well. Now, this show is what it is because of your comments and opinions. So grab your phone and smart devices. Send me a message. On Facebook, we are Joy News on TV. Same name will find us on Twitter and Instagram. You can also send me a WhatsApp message on the number 0560 800,000 0560 800 000. You're welcome. This is your election headquarters. With 98 days and 14 weeks of the elections, the campaign trail has been busy. Now, one issue that's trending now has to do with a report that suggests flag bearer of the NPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, has cancer. Well, he's responded saying the report is false. Now, remember, leading to the 2012 elections, there was also a lot of talk about the health status of the late President Jonathan Mills. Well, so one lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Kobi Mensah, says if Ghanaians would be interested in the tax records and assets declaration of politicians, they should equally be concerned about the health records of the candidates in the upcoming general elections. So we stepped out to find out from people whether or not they are interested in knowing the health status of political aspirants.
Everybody can feel sick. So when you said our flag bearer or somebody is sick, it's not anything to me, because me myself I can sick in any time, any day, anything. So it's not issue for me.
Become the flag bearer of a political party, and apparently you become the head of states, and maybe you get sick or something. We are going to use our taxpayers' money to take care of you, and not because someone may die naturally. You wouldn't know the cause. So I don't think I want to know.
I don't think I should say I should know the health of this. If he's not well, any of them are not well, they'll go to hospital. Is it not? And so me, I cannot say I should know their health. But what about mine? Maybe I don't know my health status before I say I would know somebody's health status. So I don't think it's a problem for me.
I think it's important that we know, because looking at what happened to President Mills, when he died, we lost a lot of money, though it may come from individuals, but those money could have been put together to help in the building of the nation, but we lost it. So, and then secondly, if a flag bearer wins and becomes the president and he's sick or he has a medical condition, he will not be able to perform. Then that one is also going to affect the nation. So I think it's important.
Yeah, if possible, they should all declare their health status, or there should be a background check on it before they are allowed to stand for such positions, because this is a position where you are needed to take a lot of decisions on behalf of the country, and you are the first man of the land. So we need somebody who is always fit. If I say someone who is always fit, I'm not trying to say that person wouldn't fall sick. It's a human being, but at least somebody who is not having any background related disease that will enable that person not to be fit all the time on the seat. So I think the health status of our president should be known.
So it's perfect to know the health status of your flag bearer, because someone who is coming to lead the nation, you need a person who is very strong to attend meetings for invitations. So knowing the status of health status of your flag bearer is very, very good.
I think this argument is not healthy at all, because the health status of a leader should not really be considered when taking certain decisions. I will put forward this argument. At a point in time, a leader may be sick. Are you getting it? But not indisposed, and that particular leader is needed in order to address certain challenges facing the state at that particular point in time. Are we going to say that because the leader is sick but is not indisposed, we should use that basis to disqualify the person? Are you getting it? So I believe it is not even an argument we have to look in. Now, this argument becomes valid if the leader is indisposed. We have a typical example in Israel. We know of Ariel Sharon. He fell in coma, and he was in coma for a certain number of years. He died recently. We all know it. Now, if that is the case, then of course we can discuss the health status of our leaders or those who are aspiring for the high office of the state. But if that is not the case, and let's say the person is, let's say, sick, but the person can deliver, and at the point in time the person is needed by the state, I think we shouldn't, even channel our arguments towards that area.
So what about you? What's your opinion? Send me your message on WhatsApp number 0560-800,000. Before I get onto WhatsApp, let's get onto Facebook. And a lot of you have been leaving interesting comments. Francis Mante says, Frank from Achim Ayebi, Mr. Lecturer, you people have the ideas. Instead of you to bring it early for implementation, you wait till campaign season. I call it wolf. I'm sure he means in a sheep cover. Says hashtag Kojopo Nkrumah, new incoming MP for Chimansa. Okay. Dauda Suleiman says Yano will soon descend on you, but that's the fact. In the US, the two competing candidates have issued their health records only last week as part of their campaign. I know some will say that US is not Ghana. Yes, when it suits us, we compare democracy with them, but when it's against us, we discredit theirs. Ishmael Idris says, exactly, we must know the health status of all those we are voting into office. Even though the health status of every human being is a private issue, we can have a state institution tasked to conduct this test and certify all the aspirants. After all, most institutions in Ghana, including educational institutions, demand medical examination as part of admission process, and that's very true. Emmanuel Ayim says health records are and must remain private. Well, he thinks that this is not a so smart statement by this lecturer from the University of Ghana Business School, but there's a reply to that, and I want to see how the conversation goes. Someone has replied Emmanuel Ayim directly on our page, and I love it because it gets interesting when you see some of these replies. Well, while we wait for that, okay, Ishmael Idris. So he says that I agree that they're private issues, but some tests are made compulsory for special purposes. So why not looking at that direction? And he's asking Emmanuel Ayim that. He says at least such tests can be specified as a requirement for the presidency. After all, presidency is not compulsory. Says that's his opinion though. Kwabena Sapong Nyantechi says, well, okay, he thinks this is not so smart. And Ni Senya Joseph says it's a good question, but before we do that, let each of us know his or her medical records first. He says all lives matter. Prince Bank says they say he's dead, he's falling ill, he has cancer, he's abandoned his campaign because of tiredness and weariness. Just like they told us they solved doom, so nothing in the semblance of truth comes from them. And well, he goes on and on and on. But that report actually on Joy FM, a radio station, Koku Anijo, who came out to say the NDC has nothing to do with this. It's actually a report that was done by a private publisher. So the NDC says we don't have anything to do with this. So Jomo Jumoyao says, correct point, the way politics has been run in this country is just funny. And Mr. Lecturer would have to scroll up. And well, I just missed that message there, but let's get on to WhatsApp now. This one says yes, it's better if we know the health status of our leaders. This is Ken Hassan from Tamale South. Prosper from Tamale says it shouldn't be a campaign message for some parties, even though the call by this lecturer is in the right direction. This one says that Ghanaians and their problems. What is this all about? Michael in Accra is saying, okay, thank you, Michael, for that message. And this one says, Ghanaians have the right to know the health status of our leaders. You didn't add your name and location to that. Please remember to do so. This one says, well, it's good to know because he's also a part of Ghana, and aside politics, the Bible says we should also be one another's keeper. So I'm concerned. And this is Junior Logical from Takwa, and he says he would like to know the health status of all his political aspirants. This one says that what is needed is the number of children our presidents have. This is here from Kumasi. Why do you want to know the number of children a presidential aspirant has? I'm keen. I want to know why you want to know. Let's take a few more here. And okay, you're talking about sports. We'll get there soon, but let's wrap it up here on Facebook. Jomo Jumoyao, the message I missed, says, correct point. The way politics is being run in this country is just funny. And Mr. Lecturer, don't be surprised if you'll be tagged to a political party for bringing out this useful idea. Yawadame says, go ahead, President. May not be as healthy as you think. And Apana Chow says, it's a serious question, Mr. Lecturer. So you can get onto our Facebook page. You can click on that story, read the details of what this lecturer is saying, and leave your comments there, probably after the show. So who knows, we could develop a policy out of all this conversation, and obviously that's why Joy News Interactive is here. We don't just talk, we seek to get your opinion so that we can push for some policies and some changes in our country. My name is Benes Abubedi. You're watching Joy News Interactive. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, you're talking about the sports ministry and the GFA and all that's got to do with it. Please stay on. Thanks for staying with me on Joy News Interactive. Let's get on to talk about sports. Now, I love sports, and I know a lot of people in Ghana love sports, but lately there's been a lot of apathy towards the Black Stars. Minister of Youth and Sports Neil Antivanderpoel has backed government's decision not to grant the Black Stars players tickets to fly for the 2017 Nations Cup qualifier against Rwanda. That's what's trending in the world of sports when you come to Ghana. Now, a lot of you are telling us your comments, but it seems that there's a bit of division for the general public who seem to side with the minister. Now, this is what he says. We've already qualified for AFCON 2017, so really, there's nothing to kill for. Let's get our local players to play against Rwanda and then put the money somewhere else. But the GFA does not agree. I'll get onto Facebook to get your comments, but let's go on to Skype now and speak to Nigerian sports journalist and winner of the CNN Africa Journalist Award for Sports in 2015. We'll raise him on our Skype lines pretty soon, but let's get onto Facebook and pick your comments. Well, there you have the story. You can get onto our Facebook page, click the link to the story and get more details. Sports Minister adamant there is no money to bring the Black Stars players home, and so they can't pay for their tickets. Well, we'll get onto Facebook pretty shortly, but a lot of your comments coming in on WhatsApp. This is Muhammad Baba Azazi from Garu, and you say you think the sports minister should not pay for the air tickets because they take salaries and bonuses. And this one is from Destiny Komla in Abidjan. Okay, thanks for your message, Destiny. And well, before we get onto Facebook, we've also been finding out from people on the streets of Accra what they make of this issue. Let's take a listen.
I think Neil Ante is right. He's right. We should use the local footballers because they're also doing well. If they are trained to meet up with the international standards, yeah, they can do it. They are strong. They can do it.
I don't have anything against it because I don't know what happened, what is between them, the two of them, the GF and the minister. So if it's something, and they should sit down and talk about what is going to, what they should do. It will be better for us, because maybe the locals players can play, but maybe they will not play like the foreign ones, because the local ones are also part of Blaster, but the foreign ones are those who has played and let us qualify now. So whatever they will do is over to them, but I cannot suggest to them.
This Neil and Tevanapur issue, I think it's a godsend from heaven, because this GFA, the way they are squandering money and then the media is talking about it all the time. I think Neil Ante coming to be the sports minister, he has been there before. He knows all about sports. Look at the Ghana League. We are suffering. We are suffering. The teams are suffering. They are always complaining. The club owners are complaining. And we've gotten the opportunity, and our team has already qualified. They are only saying that the local Blasters should be used in place of what? The Blasters, instead of paying those huge tickets to cut down costs, so that at least money will stay in the country, and then what? The local players to their families will also get something to eat. So I think Neil Ante-Banapor is doing a great job, and we need to commend him for that.
I think it's a good idea, because we have local players in this country. We didn't use them, so we don't know how always we are going to bring foreign players to come to this country and play. No. We can use our local boys here to play the game. So I think that one is good to me.
With the local players, I think playing the local players on the league, it seems Ghanaians, we like talking too much. We can use the foreign players. They are now playing well. So using them to play for tournaments, it will help us than changing the whole squad to play for Ghana. So I think we should maintain them, but they should calm them for a while, so that at least when we get to tournaments we can perform. I think it's somehow good, because using the local players, they can be able to at least reserve some money for the country.
So there you have it. Like I mentioned, one of my colleagues tells me that most people are supporting the minister because they don't understand the sports industry too well, and there's a lot of dynamics to it. But this is Joy News Interactive, and it's your views that matters. Let's get on to Facebook. No Akbar, God knows Billy says, yes, we support his decision. That is the best decision that, well, he thinks that any sensible person will take. If we have already qualified, why should we spend extra money in paying flight tickets for our foreign players to come? Well, we can use this opportunity to test our local players and give them the exposure they need. Says hashtag no money for Nyantachi and his cohorts. Right, he thinks that they're going to spend it. Samuel Gorman Jr. says, I fully second you. The coach should have even used the local Black Stars players in this particular game to gain exposure. Well, that game has not come off. Duakib Bayan says, yo, Mr. Minister, we hear you. Now you say there is no money for that. We hear. But when the need arises that you account for the money spent and you make mention that you spent 100,000 Ghana cedis in Ghana qualifiers against Rwanda, and you start crying crocodile tears like the other man did, you and God's wahala, because we cannot do anything. Zakaria Abdul Bari says, I believe this minister has no knowledge of sports at all. Okay, so there you have it. Someone who disagrees says the team have already qualified for Gabon 2017 and in contention to qualify for Russia 2018. The team needs to maintain their rhythm. And you're here talking about messing up the team that has been built for years. Some weeks ago, you said our league is not attractive and you expect Grant to use them when they can't even qualify for Chan. Okay, Don Self says, please tell the Honorable Sports Minister to cross-check from the President. Some mosquitoes are killed with bulldozers. Okay, let's scroll up. And Kellyanne Kofi Komashi says, since the money is not yours, please do the right thing by releasing funds for the air tickets of our players. It's all over the media in Nigeria on this particular story. Assuming Ghana has not qualified, would we be saying this? And he thinks this is trash, says, these are taxpayers' money. There's a reply to that. Can I just see that reply so I can let the rest of the world know. So Divine says so it should be wasted on an already possessed asset. He's asking Killian. Yeah, we know it's all over the place in South Africa and Nigeria. It's trending. People are talking about it, and we also know that Andre Dideyu has, offered to pay for his colleagues who may not be able to afford it. Says, I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to pay for you to come. It's rather unfortunate we are not able to reach the journalist in Nigeria who would have shared how, the sports industry or sports journalists are reacting to this news, at least from their angle all the way in Nigeria. We'll see how we can bring that probably in our subsequent programs. But we wrap up here on Joy News Interactive. Really sorry I couldn't bring you that interview with Arukaino Imukoro, and he is a journalist with The Punch. I would bring you that particular conversation in subsequent bulletins, and also on our Facebook page. You can get there. You can see the full video of this man who thinks he knows idiomatic expressions so well. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your company. My name is Benis Abubedu. Do take care and enjoy the rest of your day.